All right, well, here we go. This is, oh my God, the phone is ringing downstairs. Well, anyway, well, I don't think I'm gonna go answer that. I don't know if you can hear it downstairs or not. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Thank God. Well, all right, well, I haven't done these things in a while, and last time I did this was during well, it's been quite a while since I've been doing this, and I got one viewer. I know who that is. Thank you, Antonio. All right. Well, it's been a while, and for a career that I want to do one day when I decide to, get out when I graduate high school and everything, the career that I would decide to do is go into like broadcasting and being on the radio. I mean, I'd like to be kind of have something like this for a job, but talking on the radio would just be good as well. So it's those jobs are pretty simple and pretty much easy. I mean, but the tricky thing is it's kind of you got to know what you're working with so you can get the gist of it and have like a good sense of what you're going to be working with in technical wise. And to be honest with you, that job it does have its good and bad parts, but I do like um, having the easy portion of it. I mean, being on the radio would just be simply like fantastic. I mean, if I was just doing that, because we have a local radio station in my hometown, and I thought about going up there. I'm not good with soundboards, to be honest. I'm not good with soundboards, but you know what? I'd probably be pretty good at just like talking over a microphone like I'm doing now. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can hear me. Antonio, can you send me a message real quick? Let me know that you can hear me, please. Thank you. Um, But the thing is, having a job like this would just be really simply easy. I mean, there's no question in that when you have a job on as being on the radio, it takes a life on its own. I mean, you start talking and talking about things that you want to keep talking about, and I'm glad to say that I actually like doing this, and I do like working with editing video and all that stuff too. But that's a different type of career job. And I'd like to have a certain career where you just be on the radio, talk on a microphone like this. You have like a bigger microphone, like those bigger headset things would just be fine. And that's the type of career of being on the radio. So that's a career that I want to actually do someday. And I think I actually might make it to having a career like that. So it's gonna take me a while, but it's taking me a while to do it. But I think I can. I think I can make it. I think I'll make it. So it's not. It's gonna be a one of my. It's gonna be a job that I'm gonna have to work for a long time, and I'm not gonna be actually doing practice right now. And it's good to have an easy voice because it's you have to have a loud speaking voice when you're on the radio, so you can get the gist. I keep saying gist, but you have to get like the well, I guess I'll say it again, gist of it to um, to speak loud and clear. That's the type of you have to have a good voice just to speak loud and clear. And I got that type of voice. Like some people don't. Some people are just lucky for it. I mean, it's not something that you'd want to do, but hey, having a job being on the radio broadcasting would be great. I would actually do this. I mean, I'd like to go to my local radio station and get on there. Maybe go to like Chicago, since I'm only live like a couple hours away from that Chicago, and or maybe Peoria. If some of you ever heard of Peoria, Illinois, they have a radio station down there. But having a job like that would be simply fantastic for me. So, all right, well, I won't talk about my job career anymore because people are going to get tired of hearing that. All right. Well, since I haven't done this in a while. I was on vacation and I went to California for vacation this year. We went to Manhattan Beach. This is a beautiful beach. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of stuff happening, and it's a fantastic place to visit. And I also went to this place called Muscle Beach. It's a great place too. I actually met a guy there, um, that he must be like a regular guy that works a lot. So that's really good. So it's good to stay in shape. It's good to stay fit, and you don't have to, keep, being fat and everything, but those guys have probably been working for a long time. So I got to stop eating fast food like Subway. No offense to Subway or anything. They have really good, fantastic stuff. So anyway, go to a Subway someday. If any one of my YouTubers or fans see this, go to a Subway and just say, well, you know what? I like Subway. It's really good. So, um, but speaking of California, so going back to California, when I went there this year, we did a lot of stuff. I brought my John Cena shirt with me, and I got a few people to come up to me and say, "Yeah, I like John Cena too." When I was at, I think it was this beach I was at, this little kid came up to me and he said, "Oh, I like John Cena too." That's what he said. He came up to me and said that, and I'm like, "Okay, thank you. You actually know John Cena." And before, because I went to the water to step my feet in, because you know what, it's hot. It's hot out there, and you know what, I kind of want to go out there and just see what it's like just to be in the water. And so when I went out there, I had to go back to the restroom, and you have like a thing. Since we don't have beaches or anything in Illinois, it's since it's cold down here, the climate is very, like, not as, it's temperate around here. So you get all 4 seasons. We have all 4 seasons here. And the 4 seasons are spring, summer, fall, winter. And like California doesn't really have. They have the seasons, but the weather pattern doesn't really show it because they're like right on the ocean. And the equator is actually just kind of like is a little bit south of them, but it ain't that far away. But the thing is, though, when you live out there, you got to worry about hurricanes, earthquakes. Mostly big things are earthquakes. That's all you got to really worry about is earthquakes. But I'd actually like to live out there. It'd be a great place to live, and it would be a good spot to raise a family. But to get out there first, if I want to go out there and have a good, decent job like this, I'd have a lot of education before if I decide to move out there. So anyway, I actually when I was out there, I went to Universal Studios. Great place. Had the best time in the world. When I was there, I saw, what did I see? Well, they have the Jurassic Park ride out there, and that is a ride where you go on this cart thing, and it starts out like, oh, it's all happy and everything. You're having a great time. And when you get out there, let's do it, man. Let's have a good time. And when you're on that, and you go in this big like tube thing that goes up, I've seen it on YouTube. It's great. And when you go in this big thing, there's person over the microphone saying, "Get out of there now!" When he's in there. And then you go down, and at the end, like where there's like a big area goes, whoosh, you go down. It's like a big splash at the end. Yeah, it's a big splash. And when I was there, they gave us a tour of Universal Studios, like in like the movie set, how they do their movies there. Like if you ever see movies and it pops up as Universal Studios during the film, or like during the production, when they show up right before the film starts, they have that's where the movie was made then, because a lot of them have been made there. A lot of famous ones. Jaws was made there, of course. They have a Jaws ride there, and when you see the Jaws ride, you go around this corner. There's this like big plastic shark hanging. I imagine, I don't know what's made of. Maybe it's styrofoam or something, and it's hanging there. And we had like a lady tour guide, and she was acting kind of like not as scared or anything. Like there's no shark there and whatever. It's just the shark is actually just mainly a robot. Hint, hint. It comes like this robot shark. He's like in an area of the water. I'm guessing what he does, he comes up out of the water. I'm guessing he's connected to some sort of like tube or thing or something. Comes to like there's a fake scuba diver sitting there. There's this boat out there as well, and the shark takes the guy down. The guy's screaming, "Ah, let me out!" and everything. And when he's sitting there, he gets out. Or he dies. He doesn't get out. He dies. A bunch of blood just gushes. There's probably blood inside, maybe that guy or something, and it explodes. And then when you're going over, just like behind, there's gas tanks, right? Because in the movie there was gas tanks in the movie. But when you go there, um, you get to see that these gas tanks, they come on fire pretty much. And when they're on fire, they, the shark comes over and everything, because like the dock, the dock is pretty much moving by itself. The dock comes, goes like that, and it's like this big tube. It's like a hose, I'm guessing, and it just sprays, and like the gas tank goes on fire. But it feels like you're actually in a movie, but really you're not in the movie. They're just showing the effects. And actually, to be honest with you, I was kind of quite scared. I was like, "Oh God, don't, no more, no more!" And while that was happening, the shark came over and it scared us. So it comes up with the water and everything, and I'm glad for the water, because it was hot that day and everyone was like, "Oh God," and everything. And I actually did I had a lot of fun that day, and I would actually like to go back to Universal Studios, and I wouldn't be scared the next time, because last time I was scared shitless because everything seems so perfectly real, but it's not real. It's fake as fuck. And the thing is, when it's so fake like that, um, it comes out to be like the funniest thing ever, because they make it seem so funny when you're doing that. And when that happens, the thing is, it when it gets to feel like it's almost real, if when you're like in the movie, when you seem like you're in the movie for real, you're really not in the movie for real. But it's uh it's fantastic to see all that stuff happening, to see if it's actually real. And I actually like seeing kind of like real things, but I'm not gonna get when I was this, I did have a career, with still with doing this, but my career was what I wanted to do. I wanted to get in doing the video editing, taking the camera. I have a video camera myself. I gotta charge it. It's kind of dead. But when I do that, um, I have to show what I have to I try to do videos as I can, because this video right here will go straight to my YouTube channel. That way you can watch it. But I have posted a latest video with the Revolution Wrestling that is done in Streeter, Illinois. They have like a bunch of people come up and everything. It's a great time. Um, but I actually do like seeing those I'm a big fan of wrestling. Okay, let me just go with that. And the good thing is, when you watch wrestling, it's a good time to watch that, to see what's gonna happen. But I watch it mainly for the entertainment. I don't watch it just for the bullshit. But they have done some bullshit lately this year. I don't like seeing this bullshit. They're kind of ruining the show. I don't like when they have to ruin the show, because when they ruin the show, they're pretty much trying just to get rid of everything and how it's gonna be, whatever. But I just don't like what is gonna be going on with WWE Raw, because they're trying just to they're trying to there's PG shit pretty much. And I don't like calling it PG shit, but I have to say it somehow, because pretty much it's bad. It's PG. But lately, this whole Brock Lesnar and John Cena rivalry wasn't very good. They could have done a better storyline of it. They could have had a bigger explosion with the event. I mean, on that Raw where, last Raw where Brock Lesnar came out, because they did it. The reason why they did the thing, because of football, because Monday Night Football was in the night too. And I'm a Vikings fan, of course. But never mind about that. So anyway, I just think so that half of what they do in World Wrestling Entertainment, they're trying to make it good again. I mean, it's not wrestling like it is. Okay. All right, so no era in wrestling of WWE is never going to be as good as probably the Golden Era or maybe the Attitude Era. The wrestling now ain't going to be as good as that. I mean, they have tried to make some attitude out of it. They didn't do good out of it. I mean, in 2012, when CM Punk was playing the bad guy, they did bring maybe just a teeny weeny bit of attitude. They didn't bring much, but they should have. And when they didn't bring, and then brought the attitude, people were tuning in. And I remember that one Raw. It was in October sometime. It was CM Punk versus Vince McMahon. That was a good one because they had Vince McMahon, and everything, and he had the crutch in his hand, and CM Punk was like mercy, mercy, and everything. And the fans were just crazy, and I could see and the camera on the TV, it was just shaking. Like, I mean, like that's actually like wrestling gold right there. That's entertainment. That's spectacular. I mean, I'm glad they have done that, but the good thing is when they did that, they brought a lot of their fans back that they used to have, because they lost all their fans for quite a while, because in 2011, 2010, I don't remember how long it was, how long ago it was when they lost their fans, but they lost their fans quite a while ago. I didn't like it. I still watched it. I still stuck through it and watched WWE Raw and SmackDown and whatever it was, because if you remember, like 2005 and 2004 and 2003, 2005 was actually a pretty good series of SmackDown. Because I remember SmackDown being good. I remember they had championship matches on there. I remember some great moments of WWE SmackDown. I remember SmackDown being almost outbeating Raw a couple times. SmackDown had the Brock Lesnar, suplexing Big Show, break on the ring. They had Eddie Guerrero. He jumped off a steel cage on JBL for the WWE Championship. I mean, you don't see WWE titles, in anything anymore. I mean, I have seen maybe they had one match lately. I mean, it's been a little while ago, but they had one match. It was, I think it was maybe for the Intercontinental title and like a Battle Royal or some kind of thing. But that was a good match for that title. I remember that title actually was in good hands. It was really some of the biggest names in wrestling history today, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, I think Bret Hart. I think some of those major big names that we know today, they held some of those titles, like some of the mid-carders kind of do now. And it's taken a life on its own with those championships. But I just think this Brock Lesnar and John Cena thing, it doesn't seem like it's not as personal as it was when he came back in 2012 and made it personal with John Cena. But I just think that when they made it personal, that was a rivalry, because they actually had a real fight. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a real fight anyway, but if you gotta have a score and show up your manhood there, it's a real fight. So I mean, it's not gonna be a fight, of course, that you're gonna see like actually on TV, but they've actually had some outbreak of real fights in WWE. People have got hurt. John Cena's face was all like busted up and red. You could see blood coming from his mouth. It was kind of like dripping all over his like jaw and everything. And I remember his Brock Lesnar, he came over and just busted his mouth right open. Now that's actually something people are gonna turn into. But I'm just saying, as in the personal way, that WWE is never going to be as good as the Attitude Era or the Golden Era of pro wrestling. It's not going to be, because if they can't do it, they won't do it. It's not their fault, because things today, they can't show things today like they used to in the Attitude Era, which a lot of stuff it's pretty much been missed. So rest in peace, Attitude Era, Golden Era. Those are the good times of wrestling history. I remember those times. I wasn't around, but I've seen some videos here and there, and Stone Cold. He was a big thing in the Attitude Era. From like 1995 to like almost 2000, and like almost like now. I mean, Stone Cold is still a big name in wrestling business. I mean, when that guy dies, he's gonna have his own they're gonna have a beer party for him, because he was known as drinking beer in the ring. And like Hulk Hogan, he's going to be known as, he's going to be the biggest thing he's remembered as was when he slammed Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3, I think for the WWE title it was. But people are going to remember some of these guys that when they die, like when John Cena dies, those guys, which it's never good to think about when someone dies, never. They're going to remember them by something that they did. John Cena, 15-time WWE champion. Ric Flair, when it's time for his time to go and everything, they remember it as a 16-time champion, and his famous catchphrase, "Woo!" Famous catchphrase of all time. So a lot of these guys back then had their credentials and their respect and all that good stuff, and like the Golden Era and the Attitude Era, and like into the ruthless, like in the early start of and the ruthless aggression. A lot of that stuff was good in its own prime. because when they had that stuff in its time, um, it was a good time to watch that all happening because they did a lot of cool things. Because the '90s was actually pretty cool, and looking compared to now and today, of anything, whatever it is, wrestling, a lot of drama. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today that seems like it's uncool. The world is really uncool. The '90s was actually just a little cooler. I mean, I know technically we didn't have our iPhones, we didn't have our laptops. How I'm doing a stream right now. We'd never flat screen television. We didn't have, you know, our Xboxes. We didn't have this yet until Xbox came out in like early 2000, and PS3 and PS2, and like you had your Nintendo, GameCube, and all that stuff, but nothing was as good as it. A lot of these game systems we have today, they're pretty good, but it's a lot of things has been taken on a life of its own. A lot of technology, anything in sports, wrestling, basketball, baseball, football, whatever you have, anything in general, it's kind of taken a life on its own. I mean, because people back then have kind of done some of the greatest stuff for us that we don't have to work for anymore, that we don't have to really, go for. Because some people take advantage of a lot of stuff that we have today. I mean, it's not good. I don't like people taking advantage of things because in our place and time in history right now, it's kind of like pushing downhill. A lot of things are going downhill these days. It's not something that you wanna think about, but it's just something that, well, it's not very good. I mean, I don't like seeing too many things that are going downhill. It's never going to be good, and I don't think it'll ever be good. But there's always a bright side to everything too. But a lot of things these days are just pretty sad. A lot of stuff is happening, like the whole Russia thing. That's pretty bad and everything, but well, I don't want to get too personal with that. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening, and it's going to be there's going to be one huge explosion one day. I guarantee it. Maybe not, but there's going to be a huge explosion one day, and saying the world's over. I don't like seeing the world. I don't like the world coming to an end. I don't like it. And I don't think I ever want to see the world come to an end. I mean, it's not a good thing to see, but having the world just come to an end will never be a big thing. I mean, but what do you do though? It's going to be just a big, huge ram thing. I mean, it's going to be whatever, and a lot of stuff these days is going downhill. So what do you do? Nothing. I mean, you can try to do something about it. You may succeed. It's going to come up as almost being a failure. I don't like seeing things come into a failure. I mean, I failed in my times. I failed and failed and failed. That's why I succeed. Famous quote by the great Michael Jordan. He fails and fails and fails. That's why he succeeds. If you can't try it if you fail once, it doesn't mean you're going to succeed the second time. If you succeed the second time, that's a good thing because because if you try hard in this world that we have today, I mean, I try the hardest that I can of going to school. I do what I can every day. I try to be like the friendliest person I can be. And then, and then you get feedback from like your friends and your family and all that good stuff and your teachers, whatever you have, it's a big step, ladies and gentlemen. And a big step means that when you have a big step, take it. Go for it. Don't even stop. If there's a big step, go for the risk. There's going to be a risk, consequences involved in any situation. Go for a risk. Take a challenge. Have some fun with it. In times of my life, I may not be the best, person to do this and that, but I've made my mistakes. I've made my dues. I've paid all my dues. But I've done this. I've done that. I've said things. I've done things that I'm not proud of, and those things have been very, consequential to me. I never liked them, and I don't think I'm gonna try. I don't think I'm gonna try for going those bad habits again, because as soon as you get older, it's time to grow up, get a life. If you want to get a job when you're 16, get a job. But if you want to keep going education training, go for it. I mean, during class, I always say during class, I'm like, oh, I hate school. Well, I do kind of hate school, but everyone hates school. So I'm not the only one that doesn't hate school. I mean, but those people go there every day to learn something. I mean, I go to school every day to learn something new. I like learning new things. I like being a new person every single day of my life. I don't, whatever. I don't try to do this and that. I don't try to repeat in the same day over and over again. This is not, what was that movie called? Uh, Groundhog Day. I don't repeat my day over and over again like Tom, or I'm trying to think the guy that was in it. It wasn't Tom Hanks. Well, it'll come to me. But I just don't like repeating my same day over and over again as many days as I should. So a lot of things will be repeated. A lot of things have been repeated, and when things are repeated, it's gonna be a lot of things. A lot of people don't like seeing things repeated. I don't like things being repeated, but what do you do? Things are always repeated almost every day. So if anyone has a question about anything, let me know in the comments. And there's only one person watching, but this will go on YouTube. And if people on YouTube who sees this, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you very much for doing that. I have got 26 subscribers, and I really appreciate the fan base of you guys watching my videos over 5,000 times. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching that. Thank you so much for the past couple years for being there with me and watching my videos. I may not be the biggest hit on YouTube, but you know what? I'm gonna try to be someday. I may not be a Woody Gamertag or a PewDiePie or a Boogie2988, whatever. I may not be those guys, but I'm gonna try every day, my hardest every day, to give what I can. For YouTubers, I may not post videos every day, but I do what I can to make myself successful on the interwebs. Well, I'm gonna find out what time it is. I don't know how long I've been doing this. 7:07 in the evening. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think since I might be doing this more and more these days, doing more videos. I have a lot of time left. I have a lot of this left. A lot of my friends I go to school with, they know I have a talk show called the G.REED Talk Show, and someday, you know what, I actually just might start posting my videos that I make for, like with the Facebook show. I might post them here on my YouTube channel that you guys can watch it too. I may not be the best. You may not know those people in the video. Maybe you won't. I don't think I'll be posting shout-outs up on the YouTube. I might post episodes instead. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I know I only had one viewer tonight. Thank you, Antonio, very much. But to people who watch this on YouTube, thank you for watching my videos for the past couple of years. It's been a long time, and I kind of actually miss doing this for you guys and just making videos and videos. And videos, it gives me a headache sometimes. But you know what? I'm actually gonna do what I can to be successful on the interwebs. So thank you very much for watching, and maybe I'll probably do this next Thursday. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.